Clutch.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
up.
Oh,
No.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back up. Back up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, man. Coach, Jesus. Clutch.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
up.
Oh,
No.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back up. Back up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, man. I got nothing to do. Please back up.
Oh, yeah.
Back up.
Oh, yeah.
Back up. Back up. Back up. Coach, Jesus. Clutch.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
up.
Oh,
No.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back up. Back up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, man. I got nothing to do. Please back up.
Oh, yeah.
Back up.
Oh, yeah.
Back up. Back up. Back up. 531 bubble. Single one. Shots fired.
What is your location?
322. Apartment 322. 11830. Sunrise Valley. Start medic, please. The suspect's down.
Georgetown under fire for honoring Sidney Wilson, former player who slashed cop with knife in fatal shooting. The Georgetown women's basketball team has been criticized by some for a September 20th tweet mourning former player Sidney Wilson's death at age of 33. After video recently emerged showing Wilson was shot on September 16th by a Fairfax County, Virginia police officer after slashing with a knife. The tweet features a photo of Wilson in her Georgetown uniform states Georgetown's women's basketball mourns the tragic loss of Sidney Wilson. C13 forever. Hoo-yah. Okay. There's nothing wrong with mourning her. Okay, there really isn't. The post has been viewed at least 8.5 million times and has received at least 7,700 comments and 1,300 retweets or quote tweets as of Wednesday morning. The post was flagged by X with the notation that readers added the context that Sidney Wilson's attempt to stab a police officer who shot who shot her in self-defense. Wilson, who hailed from Silver Springs, Maryland, according to her Georgetown profile, played for the Hoyas from 2010 to 2013 and served as a captain during her senior season. Okay. She appeared in 31 games and averaged 6.5 points per game her senior season. Now the thing is though, this was a wellness check and she suffered from mental illness. Okay. It's funny how they want to, on Twitter, they want to bash people who want to honor her. Okay. But isn't it interesting about Ashley Babbitt? Okay. When she was hanging around a bunch of rioters who was not suffering from mental illness. Okay. Wanted to storm the Capitol because Trump lied about the election being stolen from him and wanted Mike Pence hanged. All right. It's funny how when she disobeyed orders and she was unalived by a cop, then you have racist white people trying to honor her like she was some hero. Ashley Babbitt was a criminal if you want to play a game like that. And you see a lot of them on Twitter, okay, making racist comments, acting like, I don't know why she couldn't back away. A mental health professional had asked for the police department to conduct a wellness check on Wilson out of concern that she was in an agitated state, and a crisis intervention trainer, Peter Liu, arrived in Ruston, Virginia at roughly 10:07 a.m. ET per police, sorry. The video showed officer knocking and introducing himself before Wilson closed the door before the conversation could go further. Police said the officer knocked on her door for 2 minutes and 45 seconds while Wilson placed her phone next to the door with music playing. Wilson then emerged around 10:17 a.m. ET with a knife in her right hand and slashed the officer. The officer started backing up and pulled out his gun while yelling, "Back up." Wilson continued to press forward and slashed several more times before the officer shot her 3 times, per the police. The slashing left the officer bloodied while he called to ask for support. Lou could be seen in another video bleeding from his forehead, while being attended by support. Police said Wilson was pronounced dead at a local hospital while Lou received treatment for non-life-threatening injuries at an area hospital. Any loss of life is something we will all mourn, Chief of Police Kevin Davis said during a press conference. The person whose life was lost in this particular case is no different. She has a family, friends, and loved ones who loved her very much, who care about her, and undoubtedly are grieving and upset. We acknowledge that, and we pray, and our thoughts are with her, with this particular family. Davis praised Lou for how he handled the situation, noting how he backed up as far as he could have before running out of space in the hallway. The second time she came through the door, she immediately attacked and slashed our officer. Davis said it could have been much, much worse. He added, "I am very grateful that our police officer is recovering, alive, and able to do this very difficult job. And under very difficult circumstances, I believe he did an excellent job at attempting to diffuse the situation, attempting to retreat from it and alter its outcome. But he was just in a no-win situation, and his life was being threatened." Okay. This is sad. And I can imagine the comments. All right. Wilson worked for a real estate and investment management company, JLL, according to her online obituary. The obituary added that she served as an inspirational speaker to young basketball players and volunteered in Washington, D.C. schools. Sydney's legacy of friendship, empathy, and love will live on in the hearts of everyone who ever meet her, obituary states. Oh, there was a lot on Twitter, though. Twitter really is a cesspool, though. It really is. Okay. All right. And here's what one person had to say about it. And she's a therapist.
We're really doing way more harm by actually using, as therapists, we're really doing way more harm by actually using 911. We're really doing way more harm by actually using 911 for mental health crisis or like any kind of welfare check.
No, we're not. This is the part I don't understand. Okay. You need cops when things are going like this. All right. This is something that the cops had to be involved.
This is starting to become a bigger issue as we're seeing more and more that cops do not need to be around people with mental health crisis, because we are now witnessing the impact of someone once again losing their life because a therapist did a welfare check and sent in police. So as you can see, this person by the name of Sydney Wilson was killed due to having a mental health crisis, and a cop responded after a therapist did a welfare check, right? And as therapists, we're trained to use often police in adjunct to whenever there's a welfare check, whenever there's a person.
Here's the thing. Why wasn't the therapist there? Why wasn't the therapist there with the cop? That's what I'd like to know. When I found out on Facebook, the therapist was on another call. Why wasn't the therapist there? Any questions about that?
And we suspect that's going through harm, it is not uncommon for a therapist to utilize the police system, which is a whole issue in itself. And this is not to directly blame this therapist. However, this is an issue within the mental health industrial complex. We cannot talk about abolition without examining how our mental health industrial complex really connects to the prison industrial complex, as we're seeing right now, and how we do see that.
What is going on? Do you know the history of these mental health patients, that they could be violent, that they're prone to violent? Do you know the history? Okay. There was a situation on the subway a couple of months ago, okay, and a veteran had to get in and stop a black homeless man from threatening people on the train. Now, here's the thing. This mentally ill black homeless person went to Bellevue Hospital to try to get admitted, but they didn't admit him. This is in New York. This happened in New York. The person's name who was the hero of the day was Daniel Penny, a white guy. That dude was a hero. So the problem is with the mental health professionals. Do you know the history of this person, Sidney Williams? Okay. Sidney Wilson. Do you know their history? And if you do, why wasn't measures put in place to have her committed?
Often we meet mental health crisis in a more criminal way, right? Utilizing police, right? Force mandatory hospitalizations. It's very punitive in the system that we currently live.
I don't want to hear about police are not rooted in care. I don't want to hear about that. That's just stupid. That is just dumb. Okay? It is just something that when a person is mentally and they choose to be violent, still a choice, you have to use force to get them under control. Okay? That's what has to be done. Clear, cut, and dry. The cop is not at fault. It's the mental health system, because some of you know the history of these people, and I bet you they do know that she had a tendency to be violent, depending on the severity of her mental health. That's all I have to say for now. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. What are your thoughts about this? Do you blame the mental health professionals, or do you blame the cop? Who's at fault here? Let me know in the comments later.